Hello, everyone. How are you today? Hey. So, I am Yvette McQueen, MD, a global physician on a mission to educate about health, travel wellness, and disease prevention. So, I'm here today again with my series, Physicians Around the World. And today we have Dr. Teykia Deveaux. Hey, Dr. T.
Hi, how are you? And thanks for having me on your show today.
Yes, I'm so glad you agreed to be here. It's going to be exciting. So, this wonderful doctor, he has an interesting background. So, first of all, tell us where you're from and what kind of doctor are you?
Well, I'm originally from the Bahamas. I'm a board certified pediatrician, currently working on the east side of Indianapolis for a federally qualified health center. I've been doing that mostly since I completed residency, and I've been serving the underserved population for pretty much all of my career.
Ooh, okay. So, you're originally from the Bahamas, I hear?
Yes, Freeport, Grand Bahama to be exact. Yes.
Okay. We went to school here in the United States and hanging out with us continental people.
Absolutely. Actually, I came to the U.S. When I turned 16 for college. I attended Great Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, and after that, moved to Washington, D.C., where I attended Howard University College of Medicine for medical school. And so it's been a great educational journey. I'm an HBCU grad times two, and
Yay!
very proud of that. So yeah, I've been here for pretty much almost half of my life now as well.
Cool. Wonderful. Great. So, when I were discussing with my friends about where have you practiced medicine, you told me something interesting. You told me so basically two different islands, which probably have they're two different totally atmospheres. So you told me, yes, I have experience in Japan and Bahamas. I was like, whoa, okay, I know Bahamas, but Japan? Tell me about that. How did you get to do that?
Well, my then fiance and now husband had been transitioned to Japan for his company. And I finished medical school. We got married and thought it would be a great opportunity to take a year off for what we dubbed our year-long honeymoon. So then we figured out, well, what would I do for the year? Of course, I got some pushback from some of my attendings. They're like, you don't take a year off before you go to residency. Like, that's not the plan. However, my awesome chairman at the time said this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I decided to pursue it. My husband actually just cold emailed some pediatric departments in the hospitals that were near to him, and a great pediatric hematology oncologist actually responded. He was the chairman of the department and was very excited to have someone that was actually English speaking in the department. And so things just happened miraculously and gratefully. I had that opportunity to be there at the Nagoya Red Cross Hospital in Nagoya, Japan for about a year.
That's wonderful. That sounds great. So, is how is their practice different than here in the United States?
Oh goodness. I think it was a good experience for me to see how different cultures practice medicine. For Japan specifically, I would say that theirs is probably a little bit more team based. In that, yes, we round in our hospitals, especially if you're on the hospital sides, we'll have our nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists on the team. But theirs was more of there are multiple attendings on the team. Everybody had input about the care of a patient. And then every morning it was more of a family rounds with not just the patient and their family, but all of the kids that shared a similar disease process were, in the same rooms together. So the idea of separation was not existing there compared to in the US, it's like private rooms, everybody wants privacy. Yeah. So
Yeah,
in
everybody you can. Wow, so everyone that had the same disease, they would have maybe with 3 or 4 children together, and they would talk about. That's
absolutely,
wonderful.
yeah. And
That's
so,
wonderful.
and unlike, in the US, patients will, especially on the hemonc side, they'll come in for their treatment and then go home. They're
Mhm.
in Japan, they're actually there for the entire, could be 9 to 12 months. They may get some weekends off, or what we call holiday weekends, to go home. So essentially, those other families are your family for about a year, or more.
Great. Okay, great. That sounds good. So, you said you're originally from Bahamas and you came to school here. Um, when did you develop a passion for travel?
I've probably been traveling since I was an infant, to be honest. I would put money on that I've had a passport since I've been about 2 months old. Being in the Bahamas and just maybe 60 miles off the coast of Florida, traveling to the United States for at least once a year for either shopping or entertainment is pretty common. And for me and my family, that's something we did annually, either for summer vacation or sometimes during the Easter holiday. And so I've always loved getting on the plane. And so I think that has not changed from being a baby to now. I mean, my 5-year-old is probably on her second passport at this point.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. So, did you ever work in the Bahamas? Oh, you did say you worked in the Bahamas. Tell me
Yeah,
about that.
actually, about 2years ago, we took the plunge and decided to move back home. My husband is also from the Bahamas, and perhaps didn't do our research quite as well as we have had in the past. We kind of flew by the seat of our pants, but it was a good experience. It was good to return home, if that makes sense. I left as a child and returned as an adult, so the experience was quite different. What I will say about medicine in the Bahamas is that the respect of the white coat is still very much there. There is no, I guess, anonymity that I've become accustomed to while practicing in the US. I can go to Target, I can go to Walmart, pretty much. I really don't run into my patients because I live in a metropolitan area. But, in the Bahamas, I see my patients at the food store, at Starbucks, probably all day, every day. And so I always felt that pressure to be on. So that was a lot different. And like I said, they truly respect the white coat. Still a very paternalistic way that they approach medicine. Patients really take and listen to what you say. And if they love their doctor, they love their doctor. And there's like generations going back. And I think now that the medical community there is growing, we're going to see some changes. But definitely, gave me a great, I guess, appreciation for those pioneers in medicine that chose to practice on the island and deliver great care to the
Mhm.
patients there. Yeah.
So, were you in Nassau or Freeport?
I was actually in Nassau initially and primarily. I worked with one of the local neonatologists at that time who still practices outpatient general peds medicine. And I actually decided to do a hybrid clinic on my original home island. So I would fly back and forth on 2 or 3 days out of the week, which became a little taxing, but to just offer my
Wow.
services to the people of Grand Bahama, which is my home.
Right, right. Have you kept up with them? How are they doing since the hurricane last year?
Oh goodness, Hurricane Dorian is such a sore spot for for so many people and for the people of the Bahamas. Grand Bahamians are resilient. We have always been resilient. We are definitely still dealing with the aftermath and the effects of Dorian. I think
Mhm.
my first visit home was truly almost heartbreaking. There were little I cried because my mom was there, my brother was there, and you see the footage, and I honestly couldn't make heads or tails of like how close or how far away were they, and to know that there was like literally an ocean, literally 5 houses behind them. I thank
Mhm.
God every day that they were spared. We
Oh,
lost
that's
so
wonderful.
many, yeah, we lost so many people, so many families. And when you live on an island, nobody is untouched because everybody is truly connected. And so I continue to pray for my country. I continue to advocate for the island of Grand Bahama. And I pray that one day we'll return to our former glory, if not even better.
Okay. And maybe even you'll be back there to practice.
Never know. I'm an adventurous person, so my husband will tell you if I start talking about something, he knows there's a plan coming.
Well, that's wonderful. So yeah, that's two different islands, two different, one in the Pacific Ocean, one in the, Japan is an island, people, and one in the Atlantic Ocean. So that's totally different. Wow. So what three things would you bestow on our audience about international traveling?
Um, I think there are really my three major points would probably be one is to travel smartly whenever you're traveling somewhere out of your comfort zone. Um, I've probably done a lot of things that I probably wouldn't do now that I have a daughter or somebody to come home to. So I've taken a lot more risk prior to becoming a mommy. But definitely, it's important to travel smartly. Don't, know your surroundings and be aware. And then secondly, when you're traveling, we're always a lot of people travel for different reasons, but a lot of the times it's just to experience the culture and see something new. And I think a part of experiencing the culture is eating locally. Restaurants are nice, the fancy ones, but if you really want authentic food, you have to find that hole in the wall. And once you do that, oh my goodness, your travel experience is so on another level. It truly elevates the time that you have there. And I've literally eaten it whole in the walls. Like there's only a spot for two people to get in and out, and it's been the best food of my life. So I would think, to elevate your travel, that's definitely another point. And then I think thirdly, definitely you want to respect the locals and their culture. So while you're visiting, they're not on display in a sense. You don't, run up to people and try to touch them or randomly play with little kids, just as how I'm protective of my kid. I wouldn't want a random stranger coming up and say, "Can I take a picture with her?" You do the same when you're abroad. And I think people take that for granted. So, for example, in Japan, I definitely wanted to experience the culture. And to do that, I felt like I had to know the locals, which I did. My nurses became some of my best or better friends. And I had the opportunity to dress up as a geisha. Now,
Wow.
I would have not done that by myself because I wanted to do things in a respectful manner. Japan is definitely all about respect. But they invited me to do it. We walked the streets of Kyoto and it was an amazing experience. And so I think those are probably like my top three that I would give to anybody traveling internationally.
Okay, now I want to go back to you dressing up as a geisha. Was that like a long process? The makeup, the dress, how long did that take? Tell me
It
about
was a long process. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I mean, I'm African American. My hair was natural at the point. So there was a whole lot to maneuver around. The makeup took forever to get on my face and then on my back. And you put on the kimono, and I couldn't breathe because you're standing, it's a very tight. And I had on a wig, and that was also probably at least 5 to 7 pounds, if not more.
it. Ooh.
And then the last part was the little shoes that we had to put on that were like a balancing act. And I would say that the streets of Kyoto are cobblestones and they're not even. So we held on to each other. It was a good time. I mean, getting the makeup off took just as long as putting it on, but it was an awesome experience. I don't think I would. I'm glad I didn't pass it up.
Wow, that's an experience. That is. I wonder if if we go to Japan, do they have opportunities where people can do that? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I've been to Japan, but I never thought to do that. Like you said, out of respect for culture, you're not trying to intervene, but wow.
Yeah.
I have
I
to look into
definitely would
that.
have signed up for the if they had not offered, just because like I want to be respectful. And so,
Right.
but it was an amazing experience.
Wonderful. Great. All right. Well, Dr. T, this has been an experience. I'm glad you were able to tell us about your experience in Japan, which is wonderful, and also about your homeland of Bahamas. Thank you. And you said your 5-year-old, you said, has on their second passport. Wow.
Yeah, we got our first passport at 6 weeks, where you have to hold the baby up to snap a picture. And she's been to Europe. She's been traveling. It's
So
easy.
what is it like traveling with a toddler? Tell people about that.
You know, um, when I first found out I was pregnant, I bought everything. What I and I got like the fancy diaper bag. What I learned is having a great backpack and a very easy stroller, and that was key. I mean, I layered up. I had my backpack. My husband had a backpack, and we were good. And she's awesome when it comes to getting on planes. I will tell you, even right now, she knows when she gets on. She buckles her seatbelt, and she's waiting for the flight attendant to deliver snacks. So I don't know how we're going to manage post COVID when they aren't delivering snacks. I think that's going to be a huge letdown for her.
Well, they are delivering. Some airlines are. They'll give you the
Okay.
bottled water. They're no longer pouring drinks for you,
Okay.
and they're giving you the just like the little pretzels or anything, or they give it to you in a bag so they are not touching. Or I guess take your own snacks and know that when that ding ding, that double bell goes off, and you can pull the tray down, you can have her snacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just this is a little extra. I didn't know about this that she was such a world traveler at 5. So, do you have tips for moms out there traveling with 5 and under?
Well, I always say to make sure you always have a change of clothes in your backpack for the kiddos, whether it be underwear or extra pants or a shirt. Dresses are always easier. Exactly. Well, accidents too, because they need to pee at the most inopportune time. But definitely, you want to have a change of clothes, and you yourself want to have an extra shirt or something. They're always cold and then always hot. So make sure I have a little light jacket and a lovey that can distract them. I go to the dollar store before we travel and just buy a bunch of, quick, cheap items that can keep her attention, that I can also toss because, it's a lot of junk. But I will spend a couple dollars before we travel and be like, hey, look what mommy's got for you now, and just keep them interested. Now that she's been doing it for so long, she'll be fine with a tablet. But before, I guess would say around 2 or 3, I would definitely be stocking up just on little things.
Oh, that's wonderful advice. The dollar store, you're right, because then you're not saying you're spend all this money and they either drop it or lose it on the plane or you're in the car in a rental car or something like that. That's wonderful advice. Thank you, Dr. T. Yes. So, since you are the world traveler, how can people follow you?
Well, I have a IG handle at Dr. T Mommy MD, and that's primarily where people can find me socially. I am slowly branching out onto social media with just some new projects. So look, please follow me, and you can see what's coming up.
Yay! Well, I appreciate you joining us, telling your story. I learned some great things today, great things. And I hope everyone out there has learned something. Put your comments in, tell us what you like. And I will be back again next week with another fabulous physician to tell us about her travels around the world. So thanks for joining me once again. Who am I? Yvette McQueen, MD. You can follow me on all social media, Yvette McQueen, MD, along with my website, YvetteMcQueenMD.com, to help you stay safe and travel well. Peace for now. Ciao.